The NBA trade deadline is approaching, and trade rumors are beginning to heat up. We already saw a blockbuster trade for star Blake Griffin in between the Pistons and the Clippers, and we're still waiting on the deadline. I'm joined by our expert trade deadline analysts, Will Burns and Blake Snetman, to discuss the upcoming trade deadline and the impact of the Blake Griffin trade. So Blake, we'll start with you. The Pistons gave up 2 stars and a potential lottery pick for Blake Griffin. Was this too much?
I think it's too much for the trade. I like Tobias Harris. I think he's a great player. He's a big scorer, a good rebounder. Avery Bradley as well, a great defender, showed his way in Boston last year, really carried that energy with Isaiah Thomas last year. I don't think it's good for the Clippers. I don't think it's good for the Pistons. All they're getting, they're a bare bones team. They just have Drummond, Blake Griffin. They gave up 2 starters in Bradley and Tobias Harris. I just don't like that for them.
I'm a believer that the team that gets the best player in the trade wins the trade. In this case, the Pistons definitely got the best player in Blake Griffin. He averages 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. No comparable to other players. That's very, very standard.
I get that he's good and all, but that one player, they need a full team. It doesn't revolve around one player. And you see what the Cavs are doing right now, and they're in the East, and the East is the easier conference. That's just a big issue because you need a full, complete team. And as I said, LeBron, the Cavs are not put together, and they have that full team. So I don't think the Pistons will be able to do that.
Well, here's my thing. I think Tobias Harris is a very good player. They did give up a first-round pick. The Clippers are trying to rebuild. But Avery Bradley has been a letdown this season. His plus-minus box score is actually down, so they're better with him off the court. To me, all this was Tobias Harris and a first-round pick for Blake Griffin, one of the best players in the league.
Well, do you think Blake Griffin now puts the Pistons into the playoff picture in the East?
Well, now that they have Blake Griffin, they've been 3-0 ever since they got him, and they're now tied for the 8th seed with the Sixers. So it looks like they will get in the playoff picture. So if they do, I do see a first-round exit maybe.
I don't think it's going to be a first-round exit. I definitely see them going somewhere in the playoffs. The East compared to the West, Blake Griffin has had that playoff experience. Unfortunately, every year, he hasn't had a good outcome. But this year, the East-West, we've seen the difference in the two conferences. There's just no comparison. I think Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, I really like that comparison. Reggie Jackson's injured right now, but I really think when he comes back, they're going to have that point guard to dish it to them, and I think it's going to be a deadly duo, and I think they're going to be surprising. And, you know, the Celtics did it last year. We saw Isaiah Thomas really come out. They were the 1 seed, but no one really expected them to get that far and give the Cavs a challenge, which they didn't, but they did get a game. I think they might challenge the East a little and make it a little tougher of a conference.
Well, they're about 5 games back of the 6th seed, which means that they'll likely be either the 7th or the 8th, which also means that they'd be playing either the Celtics, Raptors, or Cavs in the first round. And those teams right now are just a different level.
Yeah, but the thing is, Cavs, we've seen them lose. They're the 3rd seed. The Raptors, they're not good under pressure. We never seen them making a great run in the playoffs. And the Celtics, the Celtics are a tough team. I agree. So if they play the Celtics, I say they're out. But you never really know with the Cavs and Raptors and the rest of the league. It's a question mark, and I think they can make a run.
Well, what player do you think will definitely be traded at the trade deadline?
Well, going back to the Clippers, I feel like Lou Williams will be traded at the deadline. Maybe to a team like the Celtics, who have a lot of first-round draft picks packed up. They have Marcus Smart, who they're shopping. So I think a guy like Lou Williams, who has pretty much identical stats to a guy like Kyrie Irving, surprisingly, would be a great fit for Boston.
I don't completely agree with that. Lou Williams was just traded to the team in the Chris Paul trade in the summer. I don't think he's going to be traded. They've traded Griffin. They've traded Paul. I think they're going to trade DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan is my guy. They already have a trade lined up for Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith. I think the Clippers are trying to bring that new energy in on there. They already have Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, like we said. Bring in 2 more new guys. Losing that DeAndre Jordan, I think that's their best move.
Yeah, well, giving up Blake Griffin basically showed that they are in rebuild mode. So whether it be Lou Williams, whether it be DeAndre Jordan, they are definitely looking to gather some first-round picks. But I definitely see a team like the Celtics trying to make a good offer for Lou Williams to come off the bench.
Well, yeah, regardless, I think the Celtics definitely are going to try to do something. I think they want to add to it. They lost Gordon Hayward. They're playing well, but they really need more scoring, and that's why they're trying to lose Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart did, however, last year he put up 30 points when Kyrie was out. He's shown himself. A lot of people, Paul Pierce said he really thinks Marcus Smart's a good person to have on the Celtics. But I think they're going to lose him and get someone who can actually score and try to help them make a run.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the reason I go Lou Williams is just because DeAndre Jordan, the Cavs did make a push at him. Didn't exactly work out. Lou Williams still seems like he's on the market.
I think DeAndre Jordan still has a chance, honestly. And I know the Cavs really want this because Isaiah Thomas, his contract's up after this. LeBron James, there's a whole question mark after the end of the season with the Cavs. Yeah. And I think they want to make a run to make the Cleveland Cavaliers seem like a team that everyone wants to go to, and they still have it. And right now, they're not showing their worth.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA is sure for a shakeup come the trade deadline, but don't go anywhere as our soccer experts will discuss the recent January transfer window.